This is actually the phase which I call as the fifth paradigm of marketing. We are going to be bombarded by a tsunami of new technologies, right? You got AI, you got AR, you got VR, you got all that metaverse, which is sort of the mystification of all these new technologies that are coming in the virtual worlds. You got blockchains, you got cryptocurrencies that are coming in, which are got very unique opportunities in the space of marketing. You got autonomous driving vehicles, 3D printing, 5G telecommunications. You got 24 technologies that are coming at us like a tsunami. The capabilities that these bring to marketers is absolutely unprecedented. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. The point is, do we as marketers know how to leverage these technologies to be able to connect with consumers? Now, consumers are already today swamped with technologies. And just imagine when these new powerful technologies are being added onto them. The rate of adoption of these technologies is phenomenal. Like, for example, smart speakers took less than 2 years or 2.5 years before they got almost a 40% penetration in countries like the United States or United Kingdom or Germany or Japan. They are going in pretty rapidly. Now, what happens is these technologies, when they come into people's lives, the way people are engaging with these technologies, with the devices around them, is going to be dramatically changing their lifestyles. Now, today already, a lot of people are making purchases using smart speakers. Now, as marketers, then we have to think about, okay, how am I going to be in that stream of consciousness? So as a brand, how do I show up? And how do I make sure that I don't get left behind? That's a very interesting challenge, but a fantastic opportunity as well. So this is at one level. Second, there is the other side of the story, which is consumers are already being overloaded with information. They are being already overloaded with all forms of communication, all types of content, etc. Now, when this proliferation of these devices happen, their attention gets even more fragmented. So in that extremely infinitesimal, so to speak, attention span, how do you really cut through the clutter and connect with the consumers is a huge challenge for marketers. Now, if you are smart about it and you are appropriate from the point of context and respecting the privacy of the consumers, you can truly win. This means you are able to do real-time marketing. You're able to optimize in the most effective fashion. You're able to measure results and optimize in real time, which is sort of unprecedented. We have near real time in some situations today at most, but life is going to be completely real time as we go forward. It's going to be fascinating. And one of the big strategies that we have adopted, for example, at Mastercard, is what we call as multi-sensory marketing. So in the situation where consumers are being overloaded with information, and there is so much of clutter that they have to deal with, how do you actually reach the consumers, not through the traditional two senses that consumers so far were being addressed to by marketers, which is the sense of sight and the sense of sound, but consumers are blessed typically with 5 senses, the sense of smell, the sense of taste, and the sense of touch. Can we leverage those 3 senses as well, even while we are optimizing our communication with consumers on the sense of sight and sense of sound? That is what I call as multi-sensory marketing. That is a gigantic opportunity for marketers. And more than even an opportunity, probably it is even a necessity. So it's very exciting times that I feel like a kid in a candy store with so much that we can do. And if you stay ahead of the curve, I think you can truly win the marketplace in big time.
Raja, what would you tell the programmers, broadcasters, media owners about embracing change and opportunities that they have, particularly those in the television space?
So today, television is still the dominant medium for connecting with consumers. And from that point of view, we cannot ignore it. But given the amount of technological developments that are happening, television has a huge opportunity to leapfrog from where they are today to new ways of delivering video content, interactive content, and even commerce experience or shopping experiences. And this is, people call it as streaming commerce or whatever with the title that is given to it. There is a tremendous opportunity to advance in terms of how consumers are actually being engaged. It's not simply communicating to consumers, but it is also interacting with consumers, which means it is two-way. That's where the interactivity is going to happen a lot. And of course, commerce has got a huge play because contextually, commerce can be very, very effectively pushed if it is done the right way, without annoying, without intruding into the consumer's overall positive experience. And I think there are some significant strides which are being made at this point in time as we speak. But I guess the rate of acceleration will be even more as I see looking forward. This is as far as the television itself is concerned. And also, I think the traditional way of defining a particular channel based on the device is going to be totally revisited. So when you talk of TV in the past, you're talking of TV, the device, but now that whole definition has to change because it can be the big screen, it can be the small screen, it can be even the micro screen, or it can be a hybrid screen where it is a combination of multi-senses, particularly when you're getting into metaverse and things like that. So are you going to see the same TV program or, for example, a cartoon show on television the way you will view it tomorrow in the metaverse? The answer is absolutely not. So how do you create the ecosystem for advertisers to come into that space and effectively communicate about their brands and about their products in that metaverse? It's going to be something which is very interesting. Either televisions can, or the TV channels and all these folks can either abdicate it to the Silicon Valley giants, or they can take hold of the agenda and drive the agenda themselves, either in partnership or in competition, either way. But it's going to be a very interesting evolving landscape. And I guess the broadcast companies will really do well for themselves if they stay ahead of the trends that are happening right now.